Is it safe to use the PlayStation 5 Slim in the vertical orientation, just like its big brother? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. We've already covered the scenario of standing your PlayStation 5 Fat, which we've got right over here, in the vertical position and using it in that way. And we've talked about the dangers of doing that. We do have other videos that cover that in depth, but the long story short is it's always best to use your PlayStation 5 Fat in a horizontal orientation. But now that the PlayStation 5 Slimmer version is out, is it okay to use it in the vertical orientation, or do we still need to use it in the horizontal orientation just like its big brother? We're going to talk about some things that we've discovered, as well as Sony's official take on the orientation that is best for your PlayStation 5. Let's start out by talking about what the problem is. The PlayStation 5 uses liquid metal to connect the processor to the cooling plate. This is different than most scenarios that you're used to when you're talking about computers and gaming consoles where they use just regular thermal paste. Now, thermal paste is pretty widely used medium and everyone's pretty comfortable with that. However, liquid metal is also actually pretty widely used in PC builds where the processor is going to be in a vertical orientation. If you see my computer back over there, the processor is standing up and down. If I had liquid metal in there, we would have the exact same scenario as the PlayStation 5 Slim and even the PlayStation 5 Fat, where it's standing up. Obviously, it's okay to put in the vertical orientation, or is it? You see, users were reporting as they pulled apart PlayStation 5 units, they were finding that the liquid metal had actually oozed down to the bottom of the system, creating hot spots or creating, even in some cases, even oxidization, which was visible on the processor. Now that alone is a concern, but it further enhances another problem. You see, on that chip, they do have temperature probes, so they know how hot the processor is, and the fan can dynamically adjust to speed up or slow down based on the heat that that unit is putting out. So it can do its best to protect itself, but the ultimate solution for protecting itself is that it shuts down. Now, users have widely reported that their PlayStation 5, when used in the vertical orientation, was shutting down on occasion on certain games or after a certain amount of time of gaming. Now, the solution that we proposed on this channel was twofold. Number one, if this is your PlayStation 5 and it is overheating, the solution is to run it upside down like this. Now, a lot of users freaked out and cringed and said, holy crap, it's so unstable like that. And yes, I would agree with that. It's not designed to stand up like that. But if you had pooling on the bottom of the processor, this would naturally make the liquid metal go the other way and recoat the APU so that it doesn't overheat. Once you have it re-spread out, the best solution is to lie it horizontal just like this so that it can keep the even distribution of liquid metal. You basically eliminate your cooling problem. So on to the PlayStation 5 Slim. Does it have the same problem as the PlayStation 5 Fat? Well, early indicators show that on teardowns, we see about the same amount of liquid metal on the PlayStation 5 Slim as we've observed in the PlayStation 5 Fat. Add to that the fact that the APU is the exact same 6 nanometer die. It is not a different size. It is not a different orientation. It's basically exactly the same. So the short answer is, your PlayStation 5 Slim is probably best in this orientation just like this. But don't take my word for it, take Sony's word for it. Now this is the PlayStation 5 Fat stand. Now this stand is unique because it's got these slots here that allow the PlayStation 5 to sit right in here, makes it sturdy, and it even has a little hole on the bottom which plugs into this little plug right here to make it connect directly to your PlayStation 5 OG. There's a little screw in the bottom that comes with it so that you can use it in that orientation. Now, when we want to use it in the horizontal orientation, this rotates like that and locks into position. And then this guy clips on the back just like that. And our PlayStation 5 sits horizontally, exactly comfortable, so it's stable and it works beautifully. Now let me show you the PlayStation 5 Slim stand. Yes, this is it right here. And if we go to the PlayStation 5 Slim, in between these black crack here, there's just these little holes that sticks into like that, and that sticks into just like that. Now, if I stand this up like this, it's super stable using those front stands. That is the stand that's included with your PlayStation 5 Slim. If you're looking for a vertical stand, it does have the little plug on the bottom there, which would allow you to screw a vertical stand into this. But as you no doubt have noticed, it's no longer included in the box with the system. And that's an important distinction. You see, when the PlayStation started to have a lot of these reported problems with the vertical orientation, most users said, if it shouldn't be used vertically, why does it come with a stand that lets you use it vertically? And that's a really excellent point. You see, if there was to be a lawsuit that came out of this, that would be a very compelling argument to say that Sony provided a way for it to stand vertically right from the start, and therefore it should be expected to work in the vertical orientation. The fact that the stand that comes with the new Slim is only able to support a horizontal orientation shows Sony's standpoint on the best orientation for this console. Now, some of you may be saying, yeah, but Anton, they do sell you a vertical stand separately, which you can buy and use. I will promise you that in the fine print, it says somewhere using the vertical stand is not guaranteeing system performance and that you use it at your own risk. It's in there, it's in the packaging somewhere. I promise you that saves them from potential lawsuits. So now that we've decided that horizontal is the best way to use your PlayStation 5 Slim, what do you do if it only fits vertically on your system? If it only fits vertically in your console cabinet or wherever it is that you need to use it? Well, you can use it vertically, and it works vertically for many people for a long time. Just know that you run the risk of overheating the console and or creating hotspots, and it's gonna be hit and miss. Some people have reported no problems, even with their fat PlayStation 5, which has been in the vertical orientation for the last 3 or 4 years. So potentially you could take that chance and completely be fine. Due to the nature of the actual problem where you don't have enough thermal compound to conduct or transfer that heat away from the APU, using extra cooling, using extra fans on the front, on the bottom, on the side, whatever, is not really going to help you. The problem is actually deep inside. If you start to experience overheating issues, you start to experience performance issues, or if you notice that the fan is ramping up abnormally high, then you definitely want to consider switching it to horizontal as soon as possible to preserve that console. If you notice no problem with the fan ramping up, that's going to be your first indicator. Now, the fan on here is actually really, really big. So it's really hard to tell when it's spinning fast or slow because it's so big, it doesn't actually make a lot of noise. So the best way to check the airflow on this unit is to, while it's running with a game, hold a piece of toilet paper to the back of the unit and just watch how much it flaps in the wind. You want to get a baseline. If you haven't done so yet, you may want to go and do this right away. Turn your system on, watch the toilet paper flap around and just kind of gauge how much it's moving. If you start to experience problems in the future, you can always go back and redo that toilet paper test. If it's flapping even more, you know something might be up. Now, there are more extreme solutions which would involve taking this apart and adding more liquid metal to the cooling solution. So it would require taking it completely apart, getting all the way down to the APU, and just add some more liquid metal. This would effectively solve your problem because it would take up all the space. When it flows, it won't flow completely out of there because you have more liquid metal. There is no evidence to show that Sony has used more liquid metal in the assembly of these units. When we compare teardowns of the PS5 Slim to the PS5 Fat, it seems like about the same amount of liquid metal. Now, it is way too early to report of long-term issues with this. So right now it's just preventative measures. The preventative measure is lie your system horizontally. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. you can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.